Today's learning is about flexible learning spaces, what they are and why they're important. To begin the journey with flexible learning, we need to understand why and what they are. It is not only about fancy furniture, and it's not just about computers. It is so much more. It is just the start, knowing why they work, why they need to consider the change, and how you are going to work this into being an effective, engaging, and quality learning environment. Stephen Heppell is the guru of future-focused flexible learning spaces. The key is to keep them open and flexible and to make sure that you utilize what you already have, not necessarily going out and purchasing extra things. Technology is integral in these spaces. You need to make sure that you have mobile devices because they need to be moving. They need to change from place to place, not static, not the traditional classroom. It invites the opportunity to explore learning beyond the classroom. By that, inviting through Web 2.0 tools, the internet, using YouTube, using websites, and also looking at using video for learning. As with all things that happen in the school, you need to consider the question, what is the purpose or my goal? You also need to remember that safety is paramount. Regardless of everything we do in our classroom, our duty of care needs to be at paramount first point of call. Just because it looks trendy and just because it's the buzz thing doesn't mean that it is the right thing for you or for your students. If you're uncomfortable in the environment that you're currently in, or you're considering moving to flexible learning spaces and you are uncomfortable in that environment, then the kids are most likely to be uncomfortable as well. Ask yourself, do I have trip hazards? Can I easily change my room around? Am I open to experimentation? Do I keep my room the same setup all the time? The way I did it at day one of the school year, is it the way it is at the end of the school year? Do I think that it is safe for me to explore opportunities of flexible learning, or do I think it's not safe and therefore I won't even explore it? Does my room encourage collaboration? Does it encourage creativity? Am I encouraging social support with my students? I want you to think about your classroom and ask yourself, am I ready to move into flexible learning spaces? Do you have good lighting in your room? Are your blinds up? Are your windows clear? Do your desks all face the same way? Or do you have movable desks, movable learning spaces already, and you want to get better at it? Flexible learning spaces are just that. They are flexible. They need to change to meet the needs of the lesson, activity, the goal of the learning. Pardon me. Furniture needs to be movable. Can you stack it? Can you reform it? Can you change it readily? Is it nice to look at? When someone walks into your classroom, what do they see? Do they see old traditional setup, or do they see somebody willing to engage in things that are new? Would I like to learn in your classroom? That is something you need to ask yourself. If the question is asked and you say, no, I don't want to learn here, then perhaps you need to think about looking at flexibility. It's not about moving out and going and purchasing new things. It's about looking at what is already there. Although moving and changing my furniture is desirable and at times possible, it is important to remember that you need to use what you have and get better at using it. It's about looking for the opportunity to become mobile. Make sure you have enough seating is a key priority. The first thing when you move into flexible learning spaces is a tendency to throw out the chairs. Parents complain about flexible learning spaces because their child doesn't have a stable chair to sit in. Seems simple. If you are using the balls or the stools or mats or cushions, make sure you have a stack of chairs that you can access throughout the day to change up the learning. That way, students can go home and talk about sitting in a seat, and parents are more open to the fact that you are exploring flexible learning spaces. By all means, use the beanbags, use the mats, encourage children to change their seats, get rid of assigned seating. These are just little steps that you can start to use to make flexible learning happen. We will move on in our next one in other directions, but I needed you to know that flexible learning is more than just a buzzword.